The next recipe we're going to do this evening is lemon cupcakes. This is a very, very simple recipe to do. There are loads of recipes out there for cupcakes. Some of them are very tedious, some of them have lots of ingredients. This is a very basic cupcake recipe, and as I say, it's simple and it's quick. It's an all-in-one mixture. What you need for this is a mixer, not necessarily a mixer like this. If you have a little hand blender, that's perfectly fine. You need a spoon, a large spoon and a small spoon, and a spatula. We'll make the icing for it later on, but at the minute we're just going to do the cupcakes. Ingredients: you have your self-raising flour, eggs, sugar, baking powder, some soft butter. Now, not soft butter that comes in the tub, it's the block of butter you want, and it has to be room temperature. It has to be soft. If the butter is hard, the combination of ingredients won't combine, and you will end up with very tough and dry cupcakes. So it's very, very important that your butter is at room temperature. So what we'll do is put the butter in first and just give it a little whisk around. Until it's creamy, and then you can start to add the rest of your ingredients. So I'll add the sugar in next. And then the flour. Just gradually add in your flour. Pop the rest in that you can't get on the spoon. And with that, your baking powder, which is 2 teaspoons, and then your eggs. Again, when you're baking, your eggs should be at room temperature. Don't take your eggs from the fridge for baking. Again, your cakes and your buns or cupcakes, whatever it is that you're making, will end up tough and they won't rise as much if your eggs are cold. So make sure that your eggs are at room temperature. Also, for baking, use large eggs. If you can't get large eggs, and the ones that you get are very small, just use an extra egg, because you need it for the volume in your cupcakes or cake, whatever it is that you're making. So I'm just going to crack 4 large eggs in there. And just give it a mix up. Now you just mix that together until it forms a nice batter that you can just spoon off. I'll show you the consistency it should be now in a minute when it's finished. Now into that you want to add some vanilla extract, and I want to talk to you about vanilla extract. There are 2 of these products on the shelves in the supermarket. One is a vanilla essence, and this is the vanilla extract. If you can stretch and buy the extract, I would strongly advise it. The essence is a synthetic ingredient and it's very artificial. The extract is taken straight from the vanilla pod and the beans, and the difference in flavour is incredible. So I would highly recommend the extract as opposed to the essence. So you just want about a teaspoon of the extract in there. You want some lemon juice, about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, just to give it an extra little flavour. And a little bit of lemon food colouring, and that'll give it a nice little lemon colour when you are eating your bun, just for Easter. And blend that all. Now I always add a little bit of cooled boiled water. Some ingredients call for milk. I don't particularly like milk in it. I think it leaves the cupcakes tough. I like the cooled boiled water. Again, it's up to yourself. You can do what you want to do yourself. sweet, your mixture, that also leaves your cupcakes very tough. So just once you see all the ingredients have come together and formed a nice batter, you know it's time to stop the beating. Okay, so take it off, and with your spatula, just right around the sides of it and down to the bottom of your bowl, and make sure that all the ingredients are well mixed together and that there's no little flour pockets in the batter, because they will not cook when you put it into the oven, and when you eat your bun there'll be a little flour pocket in it. You want to avoid that at all costs. So a good stir around when you take it off the mixer. And this is the consistency your cupcake batter should be. So just dollop off your spatula and you're good to go. That's a lovely lemon colour there, so you'll have nice lemon coloured and flavoured cupcakes. So here we have our little bun tray with our lemon bun cases in it. And the easiest way I find to do this is to use a tablespoon and a teaspoon. And just drop it in. Now don't fill the bun cases, just take them up to about 3/4. If you fill it right up to the top, they're going to grow higher than the bun cases. And you're going to put icing on these, so you're going to have a little bun case and a big bun and icing on top. You don't want that, you want it all to level off. So just about 1/3 or 3/4 of the bun case fill it to, and then they won't rise too much. Now what I should have said at the beginning of this demonstration is to have your oven preheated. Very, very important. Do not put your buns into the oven and then turn your oven off. You have to have your oven on for at least 10 minutes before you put anything into it. And it takes at least 10 minutes for it to come to the desired temperature. So if it says preheat your oven at 180, you put it to 180 and you leave it for 10 minutes. And then you put whatever it is that you're baking into it. Do not put anything into a cold oven, or it won't rise for you. Okay. So I am just going to pop them now into my oven. And they will take about 15 to 20 minutes to cook. It depends on your oven, just keep a little eye on them. Don't keep opening and closing the door, but as soon as you have the batter mixed, it's important to work quick and get them into the oven, because the baking powder, once it hits the wet ingredients, which is the egg in this instance, the raising agent starts to work. So the longer you leave them out of the oven, the less chance they are of rising properly. So just work quick at this stage and get them into the oven. Now I'm going to do the butter icing next, and then we'll pipe the buns. For this you're going to need real butter, your block of butter, vanilla extract, some icing sugar. We're going to use lemon juice and a little bit of lemon food colouring for the icing. So what we do first is butter into our bowl. Again, your butter has to be very soft for this. You can't use hard butter for butter icing. It has to be soft for the sugar to incorporate. We don't want lumpy icing. And if your butter is hard, you're going to end up with lumpy butter icing, and believe me, that's not nice. So we'll just cream that butter for a little minute. And we will just spoon in our icing sugar to it. Now, if you add all your icing sugar at the one time, you're just going to get a big puff of sugar. And you'll have grey hair and dust everywhere, so don't do that. Just add it in gradually, spoon by spoon. You can sieve it in if you like, but if you give it a good whiz at the end, it'll knock down all the, or any lumps that's in the icing sugar. So you can just spoon away. And in there I'm going to put some vanilla extract and our lemon juice. And then we'll add the rest of our sugar. Now most recipes for butter icing say that you double the amount of sugar to the butter. Personally, I don't like that. I think it leaves it too sweet. I always cut back on the icing sugar. But the recipe that you have, if you think it's not sweet enough for your taste, you can add more icing sugar to it. But you can cut down if you like. It's up to you. It's personal taste on this one. Now, so just give that a good blast. And then we're going to add in our lemon food colouring. Just a little at a time. You can always add more, you can't take away, so just be careful because it can be quite strong. Now the colouring I use is Wilton, and you can get it in Home Store and more. I find it the best one as opposed to the good old ones. There's just more depth in these ones. Beating up because you want to break down the sugar through the butter. And that is perfect and a lovely lemony colour. Just scrape it down from the sides with your spatula, and then you're going to transfer it into your piping bag. Now I have a disposable piping bag. If you have a cloth one or a fabric one, use away at it. You cut the tip of the piping bag and you take your nozzle and just insert it in and just let it peek out the bottom. And the easiest way I find to do this is to fold the bag right down over your hand like this, so that you can get your hand up under there so that you have a little bit of control when you're putting the icing in. So just nice and gently fill your piping bag with your icing. Like so. Now you can use any colour of icing or food colouring that you like. I just like the lemon for Easter, and the fact that I flavoured the buns lemon as well. But pink or a nice light green is also quite nice. So just pull your bag back up over your icing like this and just give it a little twist and a push to see it coming out. Now when you're piping, just hold the top of your bag here and hold your nozzle. Do not hold this part of the bag because the heat of your hands will melt the butter and it'll go all watery on you. So it's important that you keep one hand here and push. That's where you put the pressure on to get your icing out of the bottom, and you can direct it with this hand and the nozzle. Alright, so we've our buns out now. They've cooled and they have to be cooled completely. If there's heat in them, obviously the butter icing is just going to melt off them. So make sure they are nice and cool. We'll take our piping bag and round we go. So it's just a little swirl from the outside and just right into the centre. And don't be afraid of it, because if you make a mistake, you can just scrape it off and start again. It's all trial and error. It's very simple. Now, we'll just decorate them with some little Easter eggs. That takes us to the end of our cookery demonstration. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you got a few tips out of it. This is the end product. The best of luck to you with the recipes. Please stay safe, wash your hands and have a very happy Easter.